Good morning, folks. This is camp number 2. Scuffed. Looks pretty wild. It's pretty dense little patch of forest. But really that way is a road. As you can kind of hear. Yeah. Some of these trucks are quite loud. Anyway, the silver lining here is that there is a store. It's a convenience store, like less than 5 minutes of walk away from here. So I'm just going to break down camp and go there, restock some snacks and stuff, and grab some proper breakfast. It's going to be nice. I don't know exactly where I crossed to get in here, but I know the ditch is a little bit much. Maybe here. Okay. And we're back on the road. Forecast says rain. Should start about now. Not seeing it. We'll see. And where you see the cars parked over there, that's the store, so that's breakfast, maybe. Although it is now 10:25, so maybe it's more lunch. Body's feeling okay, I would say. Feeling a little bit in my right knee, which is a little bit concerning. I didn't even see that little path there yesterday. My hips are pretty sore, but manageable. My left shoulder is hurting, which is to be expected, I guess, because that's the one that's frozen. It's a different kind of pain, though. I guess it's just gotten weak. Cheers. I've had, I suppose, breakfast here. Had a salad, which was fantastically lovely, even though it was just one of those really cheap, ready-made pasta salad things. Trying to map out today's adventures. Went further than I needed to yesterday, so I could take it more easy today. I'm not sure I'm going to, though, because if I push it a little bit further, I'm in really good shape to take on an extra little bit, which is up a mountain that is supposed to be very spectacular. So, yeah, we think about. But first bit is about 7-kilometer road walk, which I believe I've done about one of already. So I'm just going to try to get that done. They have a pretty good view. Pretty good. Imagine waking up to that every morning.
According to the guidebook, this section was supposed to be mostly small gravel roads.
That's the settlement sign. That means we're about 5 kilometers in. Not much of a gravel road. It's been tarmac all the way. Hard surface. Cars swooshing by in 70 kilometers per hour. Not very nice. The gravel road sounded nicer. Most of it has been obscured by trees, which means there hasn't been a lot of views. But honestly, I'll take it today. It still hasn't rained a single drop, so I'll take the shade.
The trail soon left the main road. This section led to the northern entrance of the Skuleskogen National Park, one of the absolute highlights of the trail. I was excited for what laid ahead, and while the trail itself wasn't too exciting, it was still a rather pleasant walk along the smaller roads with the occasional view of the surrounding landscape.
Less than 2 kilometers to go till lunch break at the end of the section, and it's all going to be uphill, and finally hit that gravel road. Apparently. Super friendly people here. Already had some people stop, ask if I wanted to ride, and older gentleman doing some yard work stuff and chatted to me for a bit.
told me where the nice sites are, told me how to get water from this place. I'm fine with water right now, but still very nice. Super friendly people. Hey, look. Gravel. Finally. And now, sadly, the rest of this section is basically just upwards. They just had a massive roadworks machine cut the grass here. I'm happy they're done with this section. Oh, hey. Little toad there. What's up, little buddy?
Despite the rainy forecast, the day was absolutely scorching, and many sections of the road were completely exposed without any shade.
Brutal. Holy crap. And this is nothing compared to what the second section of the day is going to bring. Holy crud. Nice view though. Let me breathe for a second. Look, rain. I am less than a kilometer away from the shelter where I plan to stop and make lunch. And honestly, everything in my pack is in dry bags. I'm already drenched and overheating. So, bring it on. Yes, please. Are you kidding me? That doesn't look fun. Yeah, okay. Rain covers on. Holy smokes.
I walked through the pouring rain to find the end of the section, but no shelter. Instead, I had to keep walking a little bit into the national park to find a privy and a small shelter, where 3 ladies were taking shelter from the rain, the very same people who had stopped and asked if I wanted a ride. I stopped there for a bit, chatted to them about my hike and about the places around while waiting for a break in the rain. Then walked just a tiny ways to the larger shelter where there were some tables, a perfect lunch spot.
It's raining a little bit again. But I reached the shelter, reached up there just as it stopped, and now walked 100 meters down here, and now started again. But lunchtime.
Okay. Lunch break over. Kind of dried out a little bit. Sun's back out. Time to go.
We are now entering the national park.
Should be cool. But also the elevation map looked like a straight spike, so should be pretty strenuous. Should be cool though. Looking forward to it. I'm just 100 meters into this and it's already really cool. Nice.
I soon got to a bridge over a small stream, a perfect opportunity to top up on water.
Check this out. Ground is just moving. It's tons of little frogs. Tiny frogos. So cool. That looks like rain clouds. Yeah. Slippery rocks and roots. It's gonna be a long one. So it begins, I guess. I've done more than a kilometer without any uphill. I'm still basically at sea level. And as far as I know, I need to go about 200 meters up the next 3 kilometers. So that should be fun. rain seems to have stopped, but I guess I'll keep my rain jacket on for now. Oh. It is muddy. It is very slippery. It's gonna take a while. I cannot rush through this.
The incline was even steeper than I expected, and the wet surface made it even slower going. Yet, I kept making steady progress.
Yo! Awesome. I guess this is worth the extra climbing. Oh my god. Wow.
I spent a good while at the waterfall just taking it in. I've always loved running water. As a child, I would stop whenever we passed a fountain or water feature until my parents had to pull me away from it. Eventually, though, I had to force myself to move on.
Sure goes upward.
As the trail ascended, I started to feel more tired than I should have. I felt unusually weak.
You like rocks? Because, like, we got some rocks for you. Getting somewhere. That kind of looks like rain. Done 2.5 kilometers in 1.5 hours. Wow. Elevation gain 166. Oh, slow going. But nice. Cool nature. There's a little breeze here right now. It's keeping the mosquitoes away. There's been tons of bugs all over the place. Enjoying this quiet moment. Please breeze, come back. There you go, nice. Oh, that rain is totally coming this way. How bad is it?
The weakness worsened into nausea as I climbed over the boulders that made up the trail past a small lake, eventually making it to a larger campsite. I took a break there, had some snacks, and spent quite a while just resting, hoping that whatever was wrong with my body would ease up. It was an absolutely stunning sight at a lake with several built-up fireplaces, tables, and even an overnight cabin. Several others were already camped there. As I rested, I even contemplated stopping and staying the night, but knew that it would put me far behind my schedule. And a nagging worry inside said, what if this gets worse? This was about as deep into the national park as I would get. Eventually, I decided to keep going. The highlight of the park, a long crevasse known as Slotterdalsskrevan, was not far away, so I kept going slowly and steadily upwards over mostly boulders and rocks.
Oh, really low energy levels. Oh, hard work. I'm starting to get some reward for it though.
As I approached the crevasse, it became more and more apparent what a popular place it is, with lots of hikers approaching. Several different trails from all entrances to the park all meet up here. As I reached it, it was easy to see why. What a cool place, with a trail running all the way through it. The scale of the rock surfaces made the boulders at the bottom look small, but then when climbing them I realized that they were actually huge. At the far end, the trail led up a steep staircase to a lookout point where I stopped to look back and admire the view of this amazing place. There were several alternates here leading to lookout points and peaks, but I knew that in the condition I was in, I had to skip all of that and just head straight on. As I left, the rain started falling again, and it turned out that the way down the other side was even worse than the way up. Huge boulders meant climbing down was slow and required a great deal of care, and the repeated landings with all the weight of the pack really hurt the knees. This finally gave way to an old boardwalk through some marshy areas. New lumber laid in bunches by the side, and it was obvious that it was needed, with the occasional board rotted all the way through. And then, it got worse.
Well, I'm absolutely exhausted, and the road forwards to somewhere where I can camp looks like this. Pretty cool, but it would be nice if I didn't have to walk on it.
I knew I had to cut the day short, scrapped all my previous plans, and decided to take the alternate leading to the closest campsite, an ocean beach close to the southern entrance of the park. I didn't film much through the rest of this section. The GoPro was acting up, and I kicked into some survival mode where the only important thing was to keep putting one foot in front of the other to make it to camp. Wet rocks, wet rotten boards, more wet rocks. While I slipped a fair bit, it's a miracle that I didn't twist an ankle or hurt myself. I had less than 3 kilometers to go, but it took over an hour. I finally reached the alternate and headed down first some stairs, then a steep path to reach the ocean, walking into a beautiful beach campsite with built-up fireplaces, picnic tables, shelters, and a privy. I felt like I could cry from relief as I sat down at a picnic table. Instead, I just stared blankly and went through the motions. I set up my shelter, had a huge portion of freeze-dried pasta, and went to bed after the hardest day of hiking in my life.